Good evening, everyone. I am Neha Sahu. I started Just for Kicks with my co founder in 2011 to develop life skills in students attending under resourced schools across India using football. And Just for Kicks has now grown into an organization. Currently, it is a program at Enabling Leadership. Over these years, I've had a lot of experiences with sports to overcome different kinds of challenges as well as use it as an enabler in education. And that is what we're going to talk about today. To do this, I have a very special co presenter with me, Anjali.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anjali. I'm studying in 11th grade and I was in Ideal English Medium School, which is a part of TFI school. Mm, I started playing football in Just for Kicks when I was in 7th grade, and currently I'm working as a JFK coach.
Both Anjali and I have had a lot of experiences with sports, and we've seen a lot of myths that we've come across. Myths in sports and in education related to our life as students, players, coaches, and girls. So, we want to talk about these right away. The first one, play sport to become a player. But the 4,500 students at Just for Kicks play sport to develop life skills, not to become sports persons. Number two, academics first, then sports. I know of the girls in Jharkhand with the organization Yuva that started going to school because of football.
Number three, growing up, I have always seen that adults are the one who choose what the child gets to play. But my parents never choose what I want to play. I was the one who chose to play football in Just for Kicks. We keep hearing that girls are too sensitive to play sports. But I have always seen that the girls' team of Kandwa Hotshot has always overperformed the boys' team.
That's right. Even I've seen them outperform the boys' team, Anjali. And with that, both Anjali and I are pretty convinced, not pretty, definitely convinced that sports is an enabler. I read about Dastra's Power of Play report a few years ago, and they express the beauty of sport through these words. Sports is an essential for human development. It is not just recreational, it promotes good health, social interaction, and healthy competition. It is inclusive, and at the same time, excellence in sports fosters harmony and a sense of pride. So with sports as an enabler, we want to focus in on how does it serve as an enabler in the education system. And to do this, Anjali and I are going to talk about four main points today. We'll start off with our number one, thematic learning. Back in 2010, I was teaching a bunch of second graders as a Teach for India fellow in a government school in Mumbai. And the football World Cup was going on at that point in time. So I was completely engrossed and consumed by it, watching matches, reading articles, and discussing it day and night. And every morning when I would step into my classroom, I would walk into a bunch of students who were not as excited about learning and quite dull and bored with me. So I thought, why not take the World Cup experience to the classroom to be able to excite them, at least try to motivate them to teach them. And trust me, it worked wonders. We studied maths, English, and geography using the World Cup. For maths, they would do addition and subtraction with the points on the table. For geography, they identified the teams, the countries playing each other, and saw them on the world map. And for English, they spoke about what they liked, disliked, what they would want to change about the players, the games, etc. And this was thematic learning, taking the theme of the World Cup and sport to the classroom and integrating it with the classroom subjects. We need to do a lot more of this, integrating sports and academics and vice versa. It becomes easy, fun, and makes concepts really interesting for students. Anjali has a story to share as well.
Um, Even I have experienced thematic learning in my classroom. We used to have morning meetings every morning before the class starts, and we used to discuss about news, different affairs happening in the world. And then our teacher asked us to read about sports and come and discuss in the classroom. And because we were very crazy about sports, we used to go back home, read newspapers, write down what we read in the newspapers, and come back and discuss in the classroom. I think this helped us, one, in improving our English, writing, and reading. It also helped us with different new words and our English. And I think sport needs to be a subject in the classroom, just like maths, English, and any other subject. And I think sports should also have exams so that all the kids should give importance to sports, just like they give importance to other subjects in the classroom.
I completely agree with that, Anjali.
Coming to the second point, purposeful play. Um, I want all the children to believe and to do what they want to and not what others ask them to. And I think I choose to be a coach in Just for Kicks. Um, and when I started playing football, I used to use only my right leg, thinking that my left leg is the weak one. But I saw others around me using both of their legs. So I went and I asked my coach about it. I asked them, why am I not able to use my left leg, whereas others are able to? He asked me to go back home and look at myself and reflect on myself. I went back home, I look at my both of the legs and find no difference between them. So I came back to the ground and I started playing. I started using my left leg multiple times. And then I realized that my left leg wasn't weak because it was born weak, but it was weak because it had less practice compared to my right leg. And I think that's the way things work in life, right? There are a lot of things which we seem impossible. There are a lot of things which seems very big. But I believe that unless and until we try it out, unless and until we find a reason behind it seems so big, it won't work. So we need to try something out. We need to make it possible, even if it seems impossible.
That is a really powerful thought, Anjali. And I'm sure a lot of you might have heard about philosophy of play. There are a lot of theories about the benefits of play, all the way from toddlerhood, when children are really young, to early childhood and beyond that. And using play here, using sport as play, gives you the platform to develop mental, emotional, and physical fitness through the experiential learning mechanism. What Anjali just talked about, right, with her right leg and left leg experience. And what better example than that, right? When Anjali was a student, she was playing the sport. I'm sure her coaches used different activities in her sessions when she was younger and when she was older, because this does change with age. And now that she's a coach, she's using the beauty of play and this whole self directed learning for herself as a coach to create different kinds of sessions based on play for her under 10 students and her under 16 students. And that is what purposeful play is.
Let us come to the point three, sport for development. I believe that sport makes you a better human being in every aspects of your life. Let me tell you a story of a coach from Pune who was teaching under 12 team, and one of the kids from his team started smoking. The coach saw this and he tried to come up with solutions and ways to help this kid out. He tried to create an environment for this kid to change. He tried to encourage him through football, and he also used football to tell him the pros and cons of smoking. And he made this kid reflect on himself in sessions and matches. And within 3 to 4 months, this kid actually left smoking, and his stamina also started increasing. I think it's a beautiful way how this coach tried to help this kid out, and he tried to motivate this kid out and make him reflect on himself instead of shouting at him or making him blaming him out.
And this intentional use of sport, like Anjali described, to be able to bring about positive change in lives is what we call sport for development. It's a very well known term and prevalent field across the world. And there are a lot of projects and examples of this where sport is being used for positive change to solve social problems and challenges. A few examples include solving issues of gender equality, female empowerment, conflict resolution, drug abuse, early pregnancy, early marriage, and also things like what Anjali spoke about, wellness and health, and finally, life skills, what we do at Just for Kicks.
Coming to the fourth point, coming together to mainstream sports. Um, Let me tell you a story of myself when football. When I think of this word, for me, it was a boy holding a ball. But right now, when I think of this word, it is me holding a football in my hand. Um, when I started playing football, I was in seventh grade, but we had a Just for Kicks boys football team in our school. When I was in fifth grade, I really wanted to play football. Whenever I used to see these boys playing in the ground, I wanted to go and play, but I did not had a team, and the girls weren't ready to play with me. Whenever I used to ask these girls the reason behind them not playing, um, they used to always say no. There was no reason behind it. Luckily, when I entered seventh grade, with the help of a teacher, I tried to find a reason behind them not playing, and the reason was that the parents were not allowing them. um, and convincing the parents is very difficult, right? Asking the parents to allow their girls play, it wasn't the easy job. um, then I tried to figure out why the parents are not allowing them, and I realized that they come from a very different background with a very different mindset, and they have never seen a girl play football. They've never seen a girl play sports. And that's what I try to convince them. I try to make them aware. I show them different videos of girls playing. I show them different Just for Kicks girls playing football. And that's when they said, okay, the girls can play, but they have to wear hijabs. Basically, hijabs are something that covers their head. And I agreed with it, because at the end of the day, what mattered was them playing. And they started playing, and because of that, we had like 40 girls playing in our school. Now when I applied for being a coach in Just for Kicks, I want to see more female coming up and being coach. I want to see more female playing sports. And I believe, to see all my kids to believe that whatever they love doing, they should always continue it. They should not stop themselves. And I think this won't have happened if I won't have support of my teachers, the parents, the government, the school, and especially Just for Kicks.
Anjali beautifully summed up her story, and it's really inspiring for me, even in this moment, listening to it, because I was by myself trying to get girls to play all the way from 2011 till 2013, 14, and 15. And then I had Anjali, who just spoke about how she went about doing the same thing. So we don't need just one collective group and the power of collective action in Pune at Anjali's school with the Pune government, but we need a lot more of this. We need the entire country to unite, because we have 260 million students studying in schools, and we're trying to get them all to have access to sports. Why not do this? Because sports does make concepts easy, fun, and interesting. It does something beautiful of giving you these natural rules as part of the game, which really help when you go to work and function together in society and build big systems. And sports comes without any barriers. You can play wherever you want. We are implementing our programs in villages with open spaces and in cities like Mumbai, which are extremely packed. And there are more than 200 recognized sports focusing on all different areas. You can pick and choose what you want from it for individuals, small groups, larger teams. You can play sport in all season, all genders, and all backgrounds. So we should come together to mainstream sports. And with that, we have actually summed up our 4 main points. Number 1 was thematic integration to make sports easy, to make academics easy and fun with sports. Number 2, purposeful play. Number 3 was sport for development. And number 4, coming together to mainstream sports. On that note, I hope both Anjali and I have managed to convince you that sports is an enabler in education. And we'd like to leave you with this closing thought of looking around yourself and thinking about all the students in schools who don't get to play sport in all our villages, towns, and cities. And we'd like for you to go back and get people aware, if this is not the case, they don't have access to sport, and try to bring sport into their education system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.